In this last video of Lesson 5, I am going to talk about some word problems. So let's jump straight to it. I've got 3 examples again. I'll try to talk quicker than I did last time. Example 8 says the sum of 2 consecutive integers is 91. What are the 2 integers? Well, before we start trying to write an equation for this, we got to do some vocabulary. Sum. You should remember from Lesson 2 of this unit that means add. Consecutive. Consecutive means back to back. So 1 and 2 are consecutive numbers. 1 and 5, not consecutive because they're not side by side on the number line. Integers means you're counting numbers, positive or negative, but no fractions, no decimals. So we're looking for 2 numbers that are side by side on the number line that add up to 91. Now, you can sit and guess and check forever, but I don't recommend it. That's going to be difficult. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to write ourselves an equation. We've got 2 numbers that add up to 91. Here's what I know about those 2 numbers. On the number line, they're side by side. Now, I don't know where on the number line they are, right? But I know that they fall one after the other. Since I don't know what they are, I'm going to say this number right here is x. It's my first integer. What I want to do now, though, is I want to find this next number. Well, let's just say the answer is 10. It's not, because 10 plus 11 is not 91. But let's just say this is 10. Well, then this is 11, right? Because it's the number right after it. What you would have to do to get from here to here is you would have to take that x and add 1. So this is x plus 1. Think about it. Any 2 numbers you have on the number line, if your first number is 4, add 1 and you get the next number. If your first number is 17, add 1, you get the next number. So my first number in these 2 integers that add to 91 is going to be x. Adding 1 gets me the next number. Now, it says that if I take these 2, x and x plus 1, and I add them up, if I take their sum, then I get 91. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to say x plus 1 and get 91. And now I have an equation. And once you have an equation, you can solve it. I don't have any distribution, but I do have some like terms that need to be combined. Remember, I have 1 in front of both of those. 1x plus 1x is 2x, plus 1 is 91. And now I'm solving. Subtracting 1 from both sides, which gives me 2x equals 90. Dividing by 2, so x equals 45. Now remember, I want 2 integers. So my first number is 45. Let's write that down. My first number is 45. What's 45 plus 1? That's right, it's 46. So my 2 numbers, 45 and 46. All right, now this one's a little bit different. Find the 2 consecutive even integers. So we've got an extra word there that's going to throw us off a bit. This time the sum is 258. So again, think about your number line. Even integers are like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're numbers that are divisible by 2. So I'm not just going to be saying x and x plus 1 this time, because x plus 1, one of these was odd, one of them was even. If they're side by side, one of them's going to be odd, one of them's going to be even. I got to jump over an odd number. So if I'm at 2, let's say, and I want to get to the next even number, I have to add 2. If I'm at 4 and I want to get to the next even number, I have to add 2. So if I'm trying to find 2 numbers that add up to 258, it's probably not going to be 2 plus 4. It's going to be x plus 2 gets me my second even integer. All right, so again, I'm taking the sum. So my first number is x. I'm going to say x plus my second number is that x plus 2. And together, they equal 258. And now it's an equation I'm going to solve. These consecutive integer problems, they're weird in the setup, but once you kind of get the flow of what it is you have to do every time, they all look the same. and you'll get really good at them. So 1x plus 1x, 2x plus 2 is 258. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, which gives me 2x equals 256. And then I'm going to divide 256 by 2. So I'm going to come up here and do that so that I have more room. And I get x equals 128. Now again, remember I'm looking for two numbers that add up to 258. So if x is 128, then x plus 2 is going to be 130. And if you check and add those up, 128 plus 130 does equal 258. So I know I've got the right two numbers. So my answers are 128 and 130. All right, one more problem. A rectangle is 12 meters longer than it is wide. Its perimeter is 68. Find its length and its width. We've done problems similar to this before, but in that case, it was earlier in the unit before we were solving equations. At that time, we were just writing the expression. So we're going to write the expression the same way here. I'm going to draw myself a little rectangle. Okay, because anytime you've got one of these geometry problems, draw a picture. It helps. So it says that it's 12 meters longer than it is wide. So I don't know the width, and I don't know the length. But what I do know is that whatever this length is, it's 12 more than the width. So you want to write it in such a way that you've only used one variable. I could put a W here and an L here for length, but then I won't be able to solve the equation. I got too many variables. I need to have just one kind of variable, just the width or just the length. So I know that this is whatever the width is plus 12, so I'm going to write it that way. Now, perimeter is the distance around the whole rectangle. So if this is W, this is also W. If this is W plus 12, this is also W plus 12. So when I'm ready to write the perimeter, I'm going to say W plus W plus 12 plus W plus W plus 12. And all of that is equal to 68, because I was told that the perimeter is 68. I mark off those sides as I go through because it helps me keep track of what I've already written down and what I haven't. You should have 4 W's. 1, 2, 3, 4. So W plus W plus W plus W is 4W. 12 plus 12 is 24. And I've got 68. And now I'm to a simple two-step equation. So 68 minus 24 is going to be 44. So I've got, minus 24 is going to give me, on this side I've still got my 4W, and that's gone. Over here I've got 44, and now I'm going to divide by 4, and I get W equals 11. So my width is 11, but I still need my length. So to find the length, well, I know that length is the width plus 12, and I know the width is 11 now. So that means my length is 23. And that's my answer. All right, sorry for several long videos in a row. You guys are ready to do some U-tries, and then as soon as you've checked your answer and feel good on those, you can go ahead and move to your practice. Check your answers, ask questions, let us know when you're ready for that mastery check. Good luck, guys.